Hello all, welcome to my channel All Set Ready. The topic that we are going to see today is basic tools that are required or which are mandatorily they need to be present in everyone's home. So let us discuss in detail. The first tool that is required is a screwdriver. So in screwdriver there are two heads. One is Philip or this plus or star, and the other side would be a slotted, which is a minus. So ensure you buy a screwdriver with both the ends. The second tool that is required is a tester. And the third tool that is required is a cutting plier. And the fourth tool is a proper hammer. And the fifth tool is a basic cutter. Okay, now let's go one by one in detail. The first thing that we're going to see is all about the screwdriver. So the screwdriver is a time saver for many kitchen appliances like pan or idli pan or dosa pan, whatever we have, right? So everything will have some handle. Whichever has a handle will get loosened at some time. When it gets loosened, we have to tighten this. For doing this, we don't have to take this to a shop. If we have a simple screwdriver and if we see the end of the screws, so it is going to be a plus or a star. In this case, we have the same screwdriver, right? So the star end. So we can just place it over there and tighten it. Yes. Now if you have a deeper look, it has been fixed. Very simple. Similarly, even if this got broken at some time, right, you can just take a photo of this and show it to the shop and buy one and you can put it yourself. It's as simple as it is. So this is why the screwdriver plays the first place in the basic tool that is required. So ensure to buy a screwdriver which has both these ends, which is very important. Not only for this, even for the idli pan, right? So in this top will get loosened, right? So even if you see it's a star screwdriver, you can tighten even this too. So these are the main reasons why a screwdriver is mandatory in everyone's home. Now let's move on to the next tool. Next tool is a tester. A tester is basically used for checking the continuity, but we also have other purposes too. I will tell you in detail. The first thing as mentioned is used to check the continuity. Continuity in the sense whether the current is getting supplied in the wire or in the socket. So if you see this is a neutral line, so there is no current in this one, and the next one is the line, actual line, and here the supply is there. This is the primary purpose of a tester. This you can test in socket or also in a wire. Apart from this, we have many household appliances like washing machine, computer, right? In some cases, at some point, we'll used to get some shock. So this tester might help you in that cases. If you see my computer, there is no shock in all the places, but when I check in this particular nut, right, so you can see the light is getting ignited, which means the shock is coming over there. There is some leak of current over there. So we should ensure that no one touches that particular nut. And also ensure that you get fixed it as soon as possible. So for these kind of things, we can use a tester. So with these scenarios, you might have got a clear understanding of having a tester as a mandatory tool in our home. Now let's move on to the next tool. Next tool is a cutting plier. So cutting plier can function in three ways. So first is it can hold things. Second is it can cut or strip things. And third thing is a pure cutter. So I'll explain them one by one. First, as I mentioned, it's good for holding. So if you see the first part, so I can hold this. It can hold a large amount of weight and you can lift it very easily. Okay. For those things, you can use the cutter first. Next, as mentioned, it is used as a crusher. Crusher, I'm using this word mainly for understanding, which means it can press things very easily. For example, if you take this steel string, right? So if I make it a 4 or 5 layers of the string and if I try to bend it with my hand, it is very difficult. But in that case, if I use this plier edge, it is very easy to press and rotate. So those kind of difficult tasks can be made easier with this plier. Okay, now let's look on to the next part. So the middle part. So first we have covered the front part. Now we will go to the middle part. Middle part is used to cut a thick wire or strip the wire. So now let's first look at the cutting the wire. So this is a LAN cable, which is a thick cable. If I want to cut this, it is very, very simple. I have to press it and give pressure. That's it. The wire got cut. So this is one use. And the second use that I can use with this same path is I can strip off the wire. For that you need some practice because obviously you will cut the wire. If you get some practice, you can easily strip it off. Then third part, that as mentioned, a pure cutter. So now let me take the same string, and we have to place it in the right position. This can be a string or a small wire, whatever it might be. If you place it in the right position and just give a small pressure, it will get cut. Yeah, so now you can see the string has fallen down. So this is the main purpose of having a cutting plier. So the cutting plier functions in three ways. One is crusher, and second thing is stripper, and third one is a wire cutter. So these three functionalities are done using a single tool, which is the reason I am saying to have this as a mandatory tool in your home. Okay, now let's move on to the next tool. The next important tool that we have to have in everyone's home is a hammer. Hammer ranges from 100 grams to 20 kg as far as I have seen, but still more it is available in the market. But the ideal use for home use would be a 300 to 500 gram. The reason why I am saying to have 300 to 500 is that if you buy something with very less weight, it will be difficult for you to place the nail. And also if you buy a overweight hammer, then also it's very difficult because lifting it itself will be a big issue. So always buy a hammer with the right weight. The hammer that I have bought is of 450 grams. I think you can see it clearly. Let me show. So yeah, so there it is written. So it's a 450 gram. Okay, so this is the ideal weight that I have bought. So if you see here, it will be easy for me to lift and place it back, which means I will get the required pressure that I need from the hammer when I need to put some nail at some place. So this is the reason to have a hammer. At the same time, it has a claw handle too. Okay, now let's move on to the final tool that is required. The final tool that is required for every home is a normal cutter. So this cutter has multiple use. One of the basic uses with the cutting plier, I said we can strip the wire, right? But for that you need some good practice. If we don't have a right practice, it is always better to use a cutter. So with cutter, if I just leave the end of the wire right, like this, yeah, now if you see, I can easily strip off this wire. It got stripped, right? So these kind of functionalities can be done with the normal cutter. Apart from this, as everyone knows, cutter can cut anything from a normal paper, sugar bag, tea bag, whatever might be, but it has multiple uses. So these are the 5 major tools that I want everyone to have as a mandatory tool in their home. Okay, so now let's move on to the pricing. So what is the price? So this one cost 100, this cost 60, this cost 350, and this one cost again 350, and the last one cost 30. So all together will not even cost more than 850 to 900. So investing at this 850 or 900 one time would save lot of money for your lifetime. That's it. So with this we can close the video. Thank you all for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe.